All right, so what we want to do is start exporting these assets. So we'll start with this screen over here initially. So we'll work ourselves kind of just by getting this initial content up here and then the background at the end. So what we'll do is the strawberry right here, these two right here, we're going to merge those. So just Control E. Also the shadow. Wait 1 second. Let's see if we, nope. Okay, so the shadow, we're going to duplicate that so that we can take this shadow and this strawberry and merge all that onto one layer. And then we'll hide that. We'll bring back the lettuce and these other three layers. Select all those, hit Control E and merge those as well. So they're all on one layer, okay? And we'll take, it doesn't matter which, we'll just right click. We'll go ahead and export as, and we'll make sure we have PNG specified with transparency enabled. And then export, we'll go ahead and specify a new folder called assets. And we'll call this here strawberry. Wait, is that strawberry? No, it was lettuce. Okay. All right. And then we'll do the same thing with the, let's see here. Yeah, the shadow right there. Export as. And we'll choose, we'll name this one strawberry. All right, so then we'll come up here with the logo, select that layer, and we'll choose logo. This one over here is going to be menu. Yeah, that'll work. And we'll choose menu. All right, and let's go ahead and hide some of these. Actually, yeah. Both of these, we'll merge these down. There we go. Now we can right click and quick export as PNG, and we'll choose this one, we'll call BG. All right, so just a few more things over here now. When it comes to this, right here, there's certain things that you can achieve. Like when it comes to rectangles or squares, you can make those in Pixate by default. So we're not going to include like this header right, or this little header bar right here. Or this dark blue desaturated color right here. We're not going to include that as a part of the image. So what we'll do is just take this. And by the way, this is kind of annoying me. I think the line height here is not ideal. So let me go ahead and adjust that. Let's see here. 48, 60. That's better. There we go. Okay, so what we'll want to do is take these layers, this one, and then this group as well, and Control E. All right, and then we can right click and just export as and export all, and then we'll choose, this one will be, we'll just call this lettuce info. I'm not going to do one separately for the strawberry. It's just, I don't really care about specifying different, details for that. But then finally, all we have is just this over here. So we'll take this over here, and I'm just going to Control left click. That'll select everything. Although let me see if it selects outside. Nope, we're good. Just go to Edit, Copy, Merged. Create a new document and paste it in, and then save for web. It's Control Shift Alt and S, and PNG 8 will work just fine for this. Save that, and this one will be called nav. And wait 1 second. Make sure I'm in the, I don't think I'm in the right directory. There we go, post assets there. All right. And that's it. So that's all of the assets that we need to include in order to get everything working. Now, I'm not going to save this because I flattened a bunch of layers, so I can always just bring it up again. There we go. And good to go. Okay. So now the fun begins in actually, piecing together this app inside of Pixate. So let's get this out here. All right, so let's go ahead and move this over a bit. Computer's being a little bit slow because I'm recording. So we need to switch to this tab over here, which is our assets. And then we want to get out open our assets folder that we were just using. So these are the assets right here. We're simply just going to take all of these, drag them in here, and there they are. So now we can begin to piece this thing together. So we'll take this BG, and it should fit right in here. All right, and you can use your keyboard arrow keys to get that lined up as you need to. We'll go ahead and come back over here. We can create a layer right here and position this. This will be the top bar that we created. Switch back real quick to Photoshop, and we'll find this layer right here. Double click on it, copy the color code, and then come back and take this color code and just paste that in, hit enter. All right, and I think it was a little bit larger, somewhere right around there. And then we'll go get our logo and put that sucker right here. All right, and then also the menu. Right around there, it looks like it's pretty much in the correct area. Okay, all right, so we need to create a new layer right here. And we're going to need to make it the size of basically the document and get rid of the fill. And we're going to call this, by double clicking, we can rename it to just lettuce slide. All right. And then inside of it is where we're going to put our food items. So we'll go ahead and get lettuce. And we'll get this right around, I think more in the center. Yeah, right around there is pretty good. Now, because I already did this, I'm going to tweak this a little bit to match my values exactly from before. So I'm putting 281 here and then 125 here. All right, perfect. And then I'm going to create a new layer, and we're going to create the bottom container, which I believe comes up right around here. 1 second. And let's switch back to Photoshop to get that color. Copy that. And paste that in. Now the size of this, let's see here, 480 width, of course. I'm going to use 359 for the height. That's what I had previously. All right, get that moved back to the bottom. All right, and then inside of that, we're going to place our image for the content, which was lettuce info. Perfect. So now we're going to go back there. We're going to take this lettuce info and we want to put it inside of this new layer 7. The new layer 7 is simply going to be renamed to lettuce info. And we'll drag this inside of there. Oops. And for some reason, it's giving me a hard time. Let me see. There we go. All right, so now lettuce info is inside of, or lettuce the info PNG is inside of the lettuce info up there. All right, and that's important because when we go to make transformations or animations on this, this will automatically follow. Okay, so now this over here, no, not that. The lettuce slide, we have to put some of our things inside of here. So we have the lettuce that goes inside of there. Apparently you can't have it selected. There you go. Also this right here also goes inside of the lettuce slide. All right, so we have lettuce and lettuce slide. And now what we want to do real quickly is take this, move it down, holding shift just to the very bottom right there. And you'll see a red little line kind of as a guide layer. And now we're ready to code some logic into this and get it working just with this first slide here. We're also going to, once we have everything working, we're going to duplicate it and put things a second slide over here. But for now, we need to get this working. So first thing, if you have iOS and you're using this on iOS, it allows you to have an emulator, an iOS emulator, show up on the right side of the screen. Unfortunately, I'm on Windows, so I don't have that. They don't have that worked into the Windows version. But regardless of the version that you have, you can use it with your phone, like a live, setting. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And that's what we want to do at this point to see it being, once we start to try to make the interactions and the animations applying to our objects to make sure they actually work. There is a lot of back and forth sometimes, troubleshooting to try to get things work, especially when you're new to the software. So if you look up here, we have devices. We have two different phones. I have my wife's iPhone 6 and then my Note 5 as well. And so you'll want to download on your app, the Pixate app, or on your phone rather, the Pixate app. And once you have that, and so when you load up the app, you'll see it says it has like a studio here. You can just, for me, connect using IP address. This is my IP address. It kind of just shows up. It gives you that information right here if you hit the I. And then basically you just hit connect. And you'll see your name there. And then Foodsy right there. All right, so now we can see it's working. Nothing works though if we touch, nothing at all. So that's what we want to start coding now. All right, so let me turn off my camera there real quick. All right, so the first thing we're going to work with, the first object is this, because that's probably the first thing people are going to click on or touch or whatever. So when we click on it, we need to apply an interaction. So that's going to be a tap. So we take this, drag it on here, and now we have interactions is tap. Then we have to make it move. So we'll drag this over here. Oops, 1 second. Make sure we have the right thing selected. Here we go. Oh, you know what? Because let it slides at the top, it's not letting us work with that. It's applying it to this let us slide over here. Let me real quickly just get rid of that. Sorry about that. We'll take the, let's see here. I'm just going to drag this out temporarily, this lettuce to the top. Now with it selected, we'll tap and move. Okay. So for move, what we want to do is where it says based on, it's going to be based on itself. So lettuce. Based on the tap, that's all you can choose because it's the only interaction we have. And animates, we're going to leave with duration defined value. And for the condition, just for now, we're going to leave that blank. But we're going to put the top, it's going to be from 137 points from the top. So it's going to move up. Because currently, if you look at the top position, which is right here, it's 281. So it's going to go from 281 to 137. So 137. All right. So now if you were to play this and watch it in your phone, it would, if you tapped on it, it would just slide up. All right. And I did just verify that on my phone, so it does work. But that's not exactly what we wanted to do. So now what we want to do is I'm going to change this over real quick to ease in. All right. I don't know why it's not showing me the values, but whatever, no big deal. And we're going to, over here, put in a condition. So we're going to put in lettuce info dot top equals 853. All right, so let's just describe what's happening here. So lettuce info is referring to this container right here, which is a group. All right, that's the ID is lettuce info. And what it's saying, if we come back here real quick, is if lettuce info dot top is equal to 853, as in if it's currently in this position, then go ahead and move it up. We're going to add another condition, which is by default, if this is an if, this will be an else. And the else is what's going to allow us to make it move back down to the original portion down here. So what we'll do is put in 281 here. All right, so he's in, there we go. Okay. Now, if you were to try to play this, it wouldn't work yet because we need to add some logic in over here on this container down here. So basically, with this, we need to add just an animation on it. So the animation is going to be a, let's see here, a move. All right, and it's going to be based on the lettuce.png right here. And it's based on the tap. And for the if value, it's going to be if the lettuce, the lettuce PNG, which is the name of the ID for that object, equals 281. Then make this 500 points from the top, add an else, and the else will put this back to 853 at the bottom. Oops, 853, just hit enter. Okay. Oh, also over here, I have to specify 500. All right. Testing it on my phone. Works exactly as I want it to. So just to show you real quickly. All right, so now that we have that done, we can go ahead and try to get the other slides in. Nope, but I did forget 1 second that I did also want to add a scale onto this object also. So basically, let's see here, let's find this real quick. So we have a move, but we also want to have a scale added to this. So what we'll do is take the scale right here, drag it on, and for scale, those settings will be based on itself here. Tap, leave that the same. And we're going to make this lettuce info.top equals 853. All right, and this is going to be scaling it down to 0.8 of itself for X and Y. Add the condition for the else, and the else will be simply bring it back up to 1 right there. All right, so I won't show you on the phone, but I'm just going to confirm by testing this. Perfect. All right, so it scales down just a little bit. It gives you a nice effect, basically. Okay, so now we're going to duplicate several of these layers. All right, so the first one is going to be the background. So that's the BG. We'll want this one. And the next one will be, we don't want to do the logo or menu, but we do want to have lettuce info also. That'll be replicated. And then also lettuce needs to be placed back inside of this group, by the way. All right. And yeah, so we'll take these two right here and just select this duplicate layer. All right. And I can take real quick my right keyboard arrow and just move these over right there to the edge. And I'm going to take the BG as well and duplicate that and start moving that over. Let me move this over here and moving this over as well. Right there, perfect. All right, so this over here, however, we're going to change this to the strawberry. Unfortunately, it would be great if we could just specify the source of the image, but we can't, so we're going to have to kind of redo this stuff. So I'm going to delete this, and we're going to go back to our assets here. We're going to take the strawberry and place it inside. And we want this also to align up to these correct values. So 281 was what it was. All right. I'm going to make this match as well. There we go. And now kind of have to add these interactions again. So we have tap here, and then we also have move in the scale. So move here and also scale. Okay. For the move, again, this is going to be based on itself. So it's going to be strawberry. Tap. This value here is going to be lettuce. Let's see here, info underscore copy, because that's the name of this one down here. And top equals 853. Top of this will be, oops, 1 second, 137 points. So 137, enter. Condition will move it back up to 281. Okay. And also scale based on itself, strawberry. This is going to be 0.8, 0.8 as well. Condition up here, same thing. $8.53, else 1. Okay. So now we would need to make sure these assets are also inside of this slide right here. So I'm going to get this, put that in there. These both as well are in there, so that needs to be there. That's good. So now we click on slide, and we have to add a scroll onto it. So we take the scroll, add it to slide, and also change, let's see where it's at, paging mode to paging. And this will work if we switch back and forth, but I forgot one last thing. We have to change this here, some of the values here. So this has to change from lettuce PNG to strawberry PNG. All right, and that should be good. No, it shouldn't. 1 second. Just forgot right there. This has to be changed to strawberry right there. All right, that's good. The scale wasn't working. That's because I didn't put .top right here. All right, hit enter. Let me take a look on my phone real quick. Perfect. So now all that works. The final thing we have to do is just to add in the nav over here. So we have this nav. We're going to add it right over here, just like that. All right. And what we want to do is, with that selected, we're going to give it 2 different interactions, a drag and a tap. So slide this drag, slide the tap. All right. And so it says move with drag. It's going to be based on nav. And let's just go ahead. I'm going to name that to nav. All right. So it's based on nav, drag position, and horizontal. All right. So for the min position, I'm going to put in 480. All right. So now over here, we take this menu. Let's drag this up. And for the menu, we're going to give it a tap interaction. So we drag this on to the tap. All right. And also click back onto here and give it a move animation. So for the move animation, the values that we specify here is based on menu, the tap, and what we put is for the left, we'll shoot it over to 140 points. We'll choose spring. I'm going to change some of these as well to spring, just because it gives you a very interesting animation. So linear, we'll do spring. Okay, so I'm off screen real quick. Just going to test this out. And I was a little bit off on this location here. And so I've changed this value from, I think it was 130 or something like that, or 140 to 180. All right. All right, so I'm going to turn on my camera just to show you the full product here, the finished result. All right, cool stuff. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. I learned a lot about this new application that I think is great, Pixate. So yeah, make sure you subscribe here if you enjoy this tutorial, and I'll see you next time. All right, goodbye.